Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Universal Show, a Diz Unlimited podcast where we talk all things Universal Orlando because we are UO fans. This podcast and everything that we do here is presented by Dreams Unlimited Travel, experts at helping you plan the perfect Universal vacation. When you book with them, it costs you nothing extra on your trip, and you help support the channel and all the content that we produce. So check them out, dreamsunlimitedtravel.com, for a free, no obligation quote today. It is also brought to you by our Patreon supporters. We couldn't do this without you. If you want to learn more about how you can get exclusive content from different members of the Diz team, you can head over to patreon.com/DizUnlimited today. I am Ryno, and I am the executive producer and media manager here at the Diz, and today I am joined by our very own theme park correspondent and Universal lover, Chloe Ferreira.
Hi.
Hi, Chloe. How are you?
I'm well. How are you today?
I'm stressed out. Just because I'm trying to switch for the first time doing the show, and I realized while we're doing this, I forgot to switch all the cameras so we could see the cameras as well. But it's new, it's different, it's exciting, it's fun. Hopefully by the next time we record, we have our microphones set up here, the nice mics.
We're getting it together bit by bit here.
Yeah, and then our neon sign, I don't know, somewhere out there in the world, and we'll finally have a finished set, so I look forward to that. So,
yay.
On today's episode, we're going to be talking about the just announced Halloween Horror Nights 2024 Scare Zones and the newish show. But first, I'm realizing that we never really got to know you a little bit on our Disney. We got to know you a little bit on our Diz Unlimited Disney show, but not really on the Universal show. So I want to know what makes you tick. And as Marty McFly would say, what makes your flux capacitor tick?
I just love theme parks, man. I just really love theme parks. I grew up mostly with Disney World and a little bit of Universal. I am a recent Universal Orlando fan. The last
you didn't go
4
when you were a
years,
kid.
hardcore. I did go as a kid, but my family were big Disney people.
Gotcha.
So I kind of fell in love with Universal on my own as an adult, and got into Harry Potter and HHN all within the last 5 years of my adult life, but I'm obsessed with it.
Well, we're going to be talking today about something you and I both love and look forward to each year, which is Halloween Horror Nights. We've got just a little bit more to be announced, I believe. I think we have, as of today, all of the houses, and we're still waiting on one scare zone.
One scare zone.
I don't know.
But everything else has been announced.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I feel like with our luck, it'll be announced by the time we're done recording.
Right now,
or by
it's
the time
happening
this
right now.
uploads. Yeah, I mean, that's it. But I thought today we could just kind of do a rundown of everything, just to have it all in one place. I feel like this moment's right. This moment is ripe for that. And obviously we haven't done that with you here. We've been doing it along the way with Craig. And so like I said, we know everything basically except for like one scare zone. But I think we're going to start with the houses. And why don't we just run through this little marshmallow fella, he's going to have to wait his turn.
He's our buddy today.
We're starting with the original houses.
Yes, let's start with the original. So we'll put a pause on
all right.
Stay Puft.
Chloe, do you want to read the first? So here's the thing. We got the houses announced, and there was no big announcement. It was kind of just like one lines about them, basically for the originals.
Well, yeah, and they announced 3 or 4 of them within a week.
Yeah.
So it was back-to-back announcements, and this is the first year where we have a 6-to-4 ratio of originals versus
we had 6-to-4 last year.
IP. No, we had 5 to.
No, it was 6-to-4 last year because it's since the pandemic, it's been more originals than IPs.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Chucky, Last of Us.
Yeah.
Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Monsters.
Well, Monsters, I know it's IP, but I'm always like.
Well, technically it is IP though.
Yeah.
I know. This is the first, there's 6 plus Monsters. So then if you're counting Monsters as the original, then it's 7-3. But I count them.
I mean,
Monsters as a
they
gray
count
area.
it as an IP, so.
Yeah,
but
6 originals. So let's dive in.
Go ahead. Hit me with the first one here.
Yes. So Triplets of Terror. We have You're Invited to the Bar and Me Triplets Birthday Bash, but be aware, they celebrate by recreating their family's murders, prepare for a gory gathering. And I feel like this one has the potential to be that gore house. It's giving me like Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibes and could be creepy. We'll see. The concept art kind of led me questioning things a little bit, but I feel like it definitely has potential.
It was giving me like...
AI?
No, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say it was giving me like The Strangers or something like that. Yeah, it was giving me very like creepy people with the masks and the I don't know. It's creepy.
Yeah, it's definitely concept art for what they use to, conceptualize and think up the creatures that are going to be scaring you throughout the houses. But it just, I don't know, they kind of have a weird vibe to them. They don't look right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm sure we'll learn more.
Yeah, I can't wait regardless. So, next one though, I am very hyped for is Goblin's Feast, and the little tidbit they gave us was welcome to the Goblin's Feast Tavern, and visit the Goblin Village where a lavish feast is being prepared for goblins, orcs, hobgoblins, and witches.
They sure do love the word goblin.
Yeah. If this is anything like the goblins that were featured in Wicked Growth from HHN 31, win for me, because I love that.
I'm going to be honest, I don't remember goblins
They had a little scene
in that.
Yeah, they had a little scene.
In Wicked Growth?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was like towards the beginning, I want to say.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, that's fine. I'm sure if I watch the video, I'll remember the playback. It was a scary house. I know that.
Oh,
so
it was
fine.
I think it's my top favorite house of all
Well,
time.
we got another exciting one, I think, out here. Are you ready to read some Spanish?
No, you do it.
Oh, okay. Well, we have Monstruous, the monsters of Latin America. Ten cuidado with La Muerta as your guide. You'll be asking for piedad from these three terrifying monsters. The blood-sucking Tlahuelpuchi. I cannot even read this word. I'm sorry. It's like Tlahuelpuchi. Lahupuchi? And it's an owl-faced witch, La Lechuza, and bone-ripping El Cibon. I think this is cool. I really enjoyed the Latin American house that we had before, which was the Chupacabra house. I thought that was fun. They were like puppet, and
right.
I thought the settings of that were really cool. So I remember being like a big fan.
And I know we didn't get to go to Hollywood last year, but they had a Monstrous house featuring these monsters in Hollywood last year, and I heard it was really, really good. And they're actually getting a sequel on their coast this year for this house. So obviously a successful story for them. So I'm excited to Orlando to show us their version.
Yes. I'm actually super, super excited for the next one here.
Ooh, yeah, me too.
Slaughter Cinema 2. If you're dying for a B-movie horror marathon, head to the Carrie Drive-In. Scream through scenes from creature features, grindhouse gore, spaghetti westerns, and more. How exciting is that?
Slaughter Cinema is I feel like that this is going to be a love letter to HHN diehards for sure. Slaughter Cinema was
it's in
from
the Carrie Drive-In.
HHN 28, I want to say, right? 28.
I believe it was the year that gave us Little Boo. Same year. No. Because that was the same house. It was the same tent. Yeah. It was a good year that year with Slaughter Cinema, though. I remember.
Yeah, and they've used okay, I want to talk about what makes me tick. I love Easter eggs and details in theme parks, and this is one that they've pulled from throughout the last few years since the initial debut of Slaughter Cinema, is where they're putting movie posters and little tidbits like Demon Baby and the Yeti movies that they incorporate into Slaughter Cinema.
This gave us the birth of the Yeti.
Yeah. So this is a great thing. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I'm also excited for this next one, which is a scare zone turned into a Halloween Horror Nights house.
More. We love that.
I don't know what just happened outside, if you could hear that on the microphone, but no, that's a garbage truck. That sounds like it just rammed the things out there. But this house hopefully won't be garbage, because it's the Major Sweets Candy Factory. You've been invited to chaperone a field trip to a candy factory. The deadly delicious treats turn the kids into sugar-fueled fiends. I mean, every parent's worst nightmare out there.
This sounds like the HHN take on Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Well, yeah, and I'm here for it 100%.
Me as well.
I loved the where they had the floats one year, and just the whole vibe, because it was a whole it was supposed to be like a
fall festival gone wrong with trick-or-treaters.
Yeah, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I love that one too.
Why don't you give us the next one here?
I am very excited for this one. This one is The Museum, Deadly Exhibits. You're going to check out the Rotting Stone, the local folklore museum's infamous new exhibit. but an evil spirit will escape from within, possessing the other displays and decaying everything in its path. So think like Night at the Museum gone way wrong, gone Halloween Horror Nights wrong. And I can't wait to see what they do with this.
See, I just love it. I felt like it to me, it's screaming Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and like that classic, very like 90s horror, like Supernatural, or all the Supernaturals 2000s. So we had like Buffy, then the Supernatural. Like I live for all of that stuff, that X-Files vibe, all of that, and so I think this is going to be a really cool, fun house. I'll be excited to see how how simple the story comes across, or how much more there is in all of that. But that does it for our original houses. For our IP houses, one that I was like fingers crossing, hoping beyond hope, is obviously Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire. As guests venture through the haunted house, they'll find themselves in the sinister world of the supernatural. From Ray's occult books, I don't know why I keep pausing weird. From Ray's occult bookshop to the Ghostbusters' new high-tech lab and containment facility to the dank New York City sewer system, fans will embark on this petrifying journey alongside the Ghostbusters, encountering iconic ghosts who slime and nefarious villains who are out for revenge, all while trying to escape an army of ghastly creatures bent on cracking bones and turning their veins into rivers of ice. As they navigate their way through freezing and frightening conditions, the Ghostbusters will need their wit and humor to defend the city they love from a terror too chilling to believe. I feel like this one is going to be even better than the movie. You haven't seen the movie yet.
I still haven't seen Frozen Empire just yet. It's on my list before the event, obviously, but I mean, I feel like there's enough iconography used in the Ghostbusters marketing that I can already recognize like the characters, the ghosts, so I'm excited regardless, just for Ghostbusters to once again have a presence at HHN.
Well, it is kind of a genius move, I feel like, on their part, because I feel like having like the iconic stuff in that movie, like you're going to see the firehouse, I assume, and Slimer is in the movie.
Ray's occult bookshop.
The bookshop, and all, and so like we get new and old characters, which is fun. And I think like in terms of it being like a haunted house, that is going to be like really exciting for me. And I just like. I'm excited because I feel like it's going to be, they have the opportunity to kind of showcase everything from Ghostbusters. Also, the fact that it's Frozen Empire means that it's probably going to be our like chili house.
Oh,
and
yes.
That I cannot wait for.
Yes, I know. I think the last one we had was Dead Man's Pier.
Dead Man's Pier, yeah.
That feels so good after a sweaty wait out in that line.
Now, you haven't seen the films for the next house either, have you? Did we talk about this the other day?
I've seen A Quiet Place.
No, we're not talking about A Quiet Place. It's what's on that screen right there.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, I haven't. I need to at least watch the first one. So we're getting...
Yeah, I'll go ahead. I've seen them. Insidious the Further. Produced by Blumhouse Productions in association with Sony Pictures, Insidious tells the disturbing story of the Lamberts, a family haunted by evil supernatural forces after their son slips into an inexplicable comatose state after becoming possessed by a demonic entity. In the all-new Halloween Horror Nights haunted house, guests will follow in the footsteps of the Lamberts, encountering familiar settings and scares as they are transported directly into the Further, the ethereal place where ghosts and demons lurk. And just like in the films, guests will quickly learn that the paranormal creatures are here to stay. Guest journey into Insidious the Further begins as they step through the iconic red door where many of the tormented spirits and demons from the franchise await, determined to ensnare humans and steal their souls. Fans are going to come face to face with the red-faced demon who will attempt to lure them to his lair, the grim Keyface, the ghastly and dangerous Bride in Black, and the vengeful spirit of the man who can't breathe. See, so for me, this whole thing is like very cool because it's kind of incorporating the story of all of the movies into this one house, but using the thing that binds all these movies together, which is the Further. So the Lamberts are in the first Insidious, the second Insidious, because the second Insidious picks up literally right where the first one leaves off. And then the third story about the Lamberts is the fifth Insidious.
Okay.
The other two in the middle are prequels, but I do know the key demon is one of them, because one of them's called like the last key or something like
Yeah.
that. So it's exciting, but you got to watch them before, because I will tell you that the first one, it's like a modern day Poltergeist remake. I very much enjoy it.
Oh, I love that.
So
this is going to be the scary house. I can already tell, because
I think so.
If it's anything like Exorcist was last year, and Exorcist was like the underdog last year that came up and ended up being the scariest. But
and I hope we get to hear tiptoe through the
yes,
You'll see.
I mean, I love that from SpongeBob.
Perfect. Well, you already told us about this next one, so why don't you tell us again?
A Quiet Place is coming to HHN 33. Guests will need to silence their screams when they enter the post-apocalyptic world of Paramount Pictures blockbuster movies, A Quiet Place and A Quiet Place Part 2, so not the new movie that just was released, in an all-new chilling haunted house at Halloween Horror Nights. Mirroring the sounds in the films, HHN said they're going to install like a unique sound design to make it, I don't know, soundproof.
Yeah, I don't know. That's going to be
scenes, so you don't hear other people or other things going on.
Very interesting. Yeah,
I'm very interested. I'm also interested to see how they pull off the large scale creatures in this. Like if we're getting stilts or giant puppets, or I'm so excited. But something that I really like this too, consequential to the storyline of the movie, they are going to incorporate the use of American Sign Language for the first time ever in this house. So that's exciting.
I'm guessing like that involves like some like characters coming out and doing sign language, so they're not just faking what they're doing, they're actually doing like the actual
absolutely.
language, which is cool. I'm very much looking forward to this. I like the Quiet Place movies very much. I think it'll be really cool to see how they pull all of that off. Now, Chloe, there was a brand new house announced literally seconds before we hit record. Tell us what that is.
Let me pull out my phone.
Because as of right now, we have all of our haunted houses.
We have all 10 houses announced. We're just missing that last scare zone, which we'll discuss. But so they just announced an all-female Universal Monsters house. It's titled Universal Monsters Eternal Bloodlines. It is going to feature the Bride of Frankenstein alongside Saskia Van Helsing.
You got me. Van Helsing, though, is cool.
And they're going up against Dracula's daughter and her horde of she-wolf of London and the undead mummified Egyptian princess Ankh-Su-Namun as they headline a terrifying new storyline.
Excuse me?
Ankh-Su-Namun?
Have you never seen The Mummy?
Yeah.
Brendan Fraser?
Yeah. Is that the name?
Yeah,
Okay.
But like...
I don't remember. I'm sorry.
A Knocks on a Moon.
I remember Imhotep.
A Knocks on a Moon.
Oh, right. Good.
Yeah, okay.
There you go. Good job.
Okay, I was
Good
like,
job.
you
Good
don't
job.
remember him? Like, he yells it like over and over, and it's like,
yes,
shut
Saskia
up
Van
already.
Helsing is the daughter of revered Abraham Van Helsing, who killed Count Dracula by, I almost said Count Chocula.
He killed that Dracula by using skim milk.
But Saskia now faces Dracula's daughter, Countess Maria, who arose from the dead to seek revenge for her father and destroy the Van Helsing bloodline. With a mission to kill Dracula's daughter from 1936's Dracula's Daughter, forms a deadly alliance with the she-wolf, inspired by the 1946 film She-Wolf of London, and Ankh-Su-Namun from the 1932 film The Mummy, only to be intercepted by Saskia and an unlikely ally, the Bride of Frankenstein. So we'll get to see this battle of life and death in person.
Yeah, also interesting that they're all inspired by the original movies, because I feel like in the last couple of years, they've been, they are inspired by, but they're modern takes on it or whatever, right?
Well, something that, it's not for Orlando, but in Hollywood, they're also getting this house over in Hollywood, and it's taking place inside Soundstage 12, which historically is the place where they filmed the original Dracula, the original Frankenstein, and I have chills just like thinking about that.
Cool.
I want to go just for that.
It's one of my
is
favorite
so
things
great.
about Universal Hollywood is that you are there like in actual being used film sets that also have this like incredible history around them and everything. So it's really cool. Well, we're going to run through the scare zones really quick. There isn't a lot to say about these. The first one that we have is Swamp of the Undead. In the backwaters of Louisiana, you're about to be swamped by zombies born from the bodies of trespassers killed and dumped in a nearby bog. Where do we think this is going to be? It's literally going to be that as you go to Kids Zone.
Central Park.
Yeah.
I'm so hyped for this one. And they have a gator or a crocodile in the concept art, like the logo for this zone. So it's going to be swampy and maybe there's some gators incorporated. I don't know. It looks really cool.
Alligators are scary to me, so if they're alligator scary people, it's gonna be tough for me. But the humidity and everything gonna fit right in.
Oh yeah.
Next up, we have Torture Fair. Come one, come all to the Renaissance Fair. Brave the glorious, gory medieval torture devices till you're put out of your misery. Where's this one, you think?
This one is in New York.
They've started to put up the sets, and so like you can kind of make out where everything is going to be.
I believe they just put up a stage in New York for
pretty
this,
big one for New York. But I just went to a Renaissance fair in like Wisconsin, in Bristol area, and it was fun, and it was crazy because this got announced right after that, and I was like, oh.
I wonder if
me.
since that is in New York, if that's a hint to what the tribute store is going to be this year. Because if it's right there, they typically include like at least the facade into the scare zone theme.
I guess we'll see. I don't know if I like that or not.
I'm not a big Renaissance fair person, but I'm happy for those that love them.
Oh, my friend Kim she's coming. She said I'm coming. She's wanted to do this event for a while, and I said there's a Renaissance fair theme one, and she loves the Renaissance fair.
She's never done it, or she hasn't done it.
She's never done it. Yeah.
Oh. Let me know.
So
I can't wait to go with her.
So hopefully she's coming in like September, October. But next we have Duality of Fear. As soon as you enter Halloween Horror Nights, you must choose a path. The visceral horror of sinister or the unearthly terror of surreal. Now both of these names have a 3 like instead of the E, which is interesting. But also this scare zone goes with the next scare zone that was announced, which was Demon Queens. What did you call me? Get caught in an otherworldly hellscape ripped from the darkest corners of your mind where 4 merciless queens loyal to surreal rule. That is interesting to me because it is like you have to make a choice which way you're going, and there is a scare zone based on that. We are missing one more scare zone. The rumor of what it is doesn't line up with it being
Sinister
related to this.
So I'm wondering if they're going to tie Sinister into the Torture Fair, because that's the other one that's like off from like that central production central zone.
They just give us an extra scare zone this year, which would be great, but I don't know that they will be able to do that. But that would be a fun surprise.
Yeah. You know what else would be a fun surprise? A Lagoon show. They have not announced yet.
I would really love that. It is in my notes later to mention that, but
I thought it tied in well now.
That's fine. So speaking of shows, though, we do have I feel like they say brand new, but it's like newish because a lot of times it feels similar to me. Very talented people here, but Nightmare Fuel Nocturnal Circus. Step right up to a dark circus, a new nightmare that carries with a sinister curse. Get trapped in a thrilling spectacle of pyro and aerialists to the beat of pulse-pounding rock rhythms.
Pulse pounding.
I have people who love the show. It has historically not been for me.
Not me.
And I would rather spend the time eating and drinking and being scared out of my mind. I'm glad they have.
It's a good show, and I'm happy the performers are doing what they love, and I'm happy with the people that love that show. I would rather do anything else at HHN besides watch that. It's a good hour of your night every time, like lining up to go sit down, sitting there waiting for the show to start, and then exiting that theater and the backup of traffic. It's a lot.
But for a lot of people, I do feel like it is a respite for a break from the horror of the houses and things like that, and just the walking around and everything like that. So I get why a lot of people like it. But Halloween Horror Nights kicks off this year on August 30th and runs through November 3rd. However, if you've got that Halloween itch that you want scratched a little sooner, don't forget about the Halloween Horror Nights Premium Scream Night on August 29th. This year, Universal is hosting a premium event which allows guests to experience Halloween Horror Nights on Thursday, August 29th, with limited capacity and shorter wait times. Tickets for the Premium Scream Night, are on sale right now, and they ain't cheap. The tickets are $350 plus tax, with annual and seasonal pass holders getting a discounted price of $325. So you're like, what does that come with? Well, everything fans love about the world's premier Halloween event and a more intimate experience, complete with limited capacity, shorter wait times. This is a big one. Staggered entry by group into the haunted houses. That seems like my worst nightmare, but is pretty cool.
Now I really want to go with you.
Yeah, there is a selection of all you care to enjoy food items created by Universal's award-winning culinary team, inspired by this season's haunts, as well as non-alcoholic beverages. So that's a big deal, getting the food and everything. You get an exclusive event souvenir credential and lanyard, access to select attractions at Universal Studios Florida, free parking on that day as well. So we also know that the Frequent Fear tickets are on sale now as well. I've purchased mine. I did the one that includes every night except for Saturdays. That was the plus, I believe. Did you buy yours?
I bought mine.
Okay.
I know that the all of the frequent fears with Express sold out that
All of
same
them?
day. All of them sold out that same day.
Well, I hope that
so.
means that they're limiting Express this year, because I know that was a
Yeah.
big complaint about a
Yeah.
lot of people who had invested in it last year, that there were too many people in the Express line. And a lot of times the Express line was just as long as the other line, because I feel like they may have had oversold it or just didn't, the rhythm of the event ebbs and flows and changes, and there's things that can make change and all that stuff. So, but anyway, that's it. We basically have one more scare zone that I'm sure by the time this video is uploaded,
Yeah.
we don't know the tribute story yet, but maybe Chloe's right about that. We don't know about a Lagoon show yet, but fingers crossed out there. But you got to go. So I think that's going to do it for this episode of the Universal Show. Thank you, Chloe, for having this very spooky discussion with me.
Of course. My pleasure,
Getting
honestly.
your opinion on this. Sorry it felt rushed. But thank you, everyone out there. If you are watching this on YouTube, click that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel. And if you're listening to it, please rate and review the podcast when you get a chance. Don't forget about Dreams Unlimited Travel. When booking your next Universal vacation, you can just buy the tickets through them. That helps support us.
Yeah.
Did you know that? You did. Okay. So also one more time, one big shout out to our Patreon supporters. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Remember, be excellent to each other.